As you approach a town to attack it, first offer its people terms for peace. If they accept your terms and open the gates to you, then all the people inside will serve you in forced labor. But if they refuse to make peace and prepare to fight, you must attack the town. When the Lord your God hands it over to you, kill every man in the town. But you may keep for yourselves all the women, children, livestock, and other plunder. You may enjoy the spoils of your enemies that the Lord your God has given you. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself, as a Christian or a theist who believes in God and believes the Bible is the one true Word of God, that there had to be a good reason why they would go into a city and kill all the men but keep the women as slaves as well as the children. But you'll be interested to find that there's definitely some reasons. Let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at some of the reasons that God gives to kill people. This is Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 7 through 12. If your own full brother or your son or daughter or your beloved wife or your intimate friend entices you secretly to serve other gods, whom you and your fathers have not known, gods of any other nations, near at hand or far away, from one end of the earth to the other, do not yield to him or listen to him, nor look with pity upon him, to spare or shield him, but kill him. Your hand shall be the first raised to slay him. The rest of the people shall join in with you. You shall stone him to death, because he sought to lead you astray from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that place of slavery. And all Israel, hearing of this, shall fear and never do such evil as this in your midst. That's Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 7 through 12. There's a lot of videos on YouTube with Christians getting pissy and angry, aggravated at the concept of Muslims following their Quran. Their Quran has passages that teach them to slay and murder Christians, as well as Jews, as well as non-believers. And I can understand that. I can understand why it is Christians would get aggravated at the idea of some religion off in the goddamn desert that has a book that tells them to kill anyone that doesn't believe like them, including Christians. But if you show them their own book, where it tells them to do exactly the same fucking thing as the Muslims, who still follow it today, whoa, that's out of context, huh? Yeah, we get it. We get it. We call that double standards where I'm from. Christians love to use the argument of free will. They say that God allows us to live our lives and make decisions, whether they be mistakes or bad decisions or good decisions. It's because He loves us. God knows everything according to Christians, but He allows us free will. Is that true? Let's see what the Bible actually says about that. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21, make ready to slaughter his sons for the guilt of their fathers, lest they rise and possess the earth, and fill the breadth of the world with tyrants. According to the Bible, God knew that these children, these babies of these particular men who obviously didn't follow the religion or they didn't obey God properly, God felt that the children had to suffer and already anticipated in His omniscience and omni this and omni that the children would grow up and be assholes like their dads. This is what God knew, so therefore God instructed the murder of these children. So one would have to ask themselves, where exactly was the free will in that? Where was the free will in the land of Egypt whenever God hardened the heart of the Pharaoh and made it to where the Pharaoh would make no other decision but to allow the 10 mysterious signs that God put forth to cause the entire people of Egypt to suffer, including His own people during the process? because they too had to drink from the water that was turned to blood. They too had to sit for 3 days and 3 nights in total darkness. They too had to suffer from boils and pain and suffering due to God wanting to show off his powers. There was no free will for anyone in this. No one chose to suffer. No one chose to go through this process that God put them through. There was no free will whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to slavery in the Bible, there's a lot of different hot debates going on because the Bible has so many different ways of articulating, so many ways that the rules changed or the laws in this particular situation. It's hard for people to really be able to keep up with the stakes and the story of what is taking place. There are some passages in the Bible that actually say that if you take slaves or you take a human being as property, that they should be able to work it off for 7 years, and then maybe if the master so chooses that he will let the person leave. However, if you look in Leviticus chapter 25, verse 44 through 46, it says, "However, you may purchase male or female slaves from among the foreigners who live among you. You may also purchase the children of such resident foreigners, including those who have been born in your land. You may treat them as your property, passing them on to your children as a permanent inheritance. You may treat your slaves like this, but the people of Israel, your relatives, must never be treated this way." It's interesting to think that God actually had chosen people that he had sat down one day whenever he was creating the human race that he so loved, that he decided that there were going to be certain human beings that he considered better than other human beings, that he favored over other human beings. He even says, don't do this to your own family, don't do this to your own people, but anybody else, you just fucking do with as you want. And in the book of Exodus, it actually tells you that you can beat the shit out of your slave with a rod, but if you kill them, then you could get punished depending on the time period and how long it takes for the person to die. If they die instantly, the punishment is less severe. A slap on the wrist, basically. I know that some of you Christians out there who watch me, you get all hot and bothered, all excited when you see this kind of shit. You're not really sure what to say. Your first inclination is to probably say out of context without even bothering to look at the passages. I encourage you as a non-believer and as a free thinker, a person who is a skeptic, to read the entire Bible for yourself. All your life you've been told that this is the truth, that this is the way, and that God is about good and love and justice and righteousness. So I can understand why you'd be surprised when you see this. I know you're probably going to ask your preachers about this, or perhaps it doesn't mean shit to you at all. Perhaps you're going to convince yourself that there's a bigger picture that you just can't see or understand. I would think in your view or in your political and religious position that you would think to yourself, you know, maybe I should look at this. Maybe I should check this out. If I really care about what I believe or what I'm following, I'll look into it. To just simply dust it off and walk away and shit, that just shows that you're cowardly. That shows that you really don't have any interest in who the God is that you follow, that you've basically invented your own interpretation idea up in your head, and you're not really interested in the truth whatsoever. But what's new, ladies and gentlemen? Just ignore it and go on your way. Go to Sunday school, go to your churches, sit in a pew, close your ears, close your eyes, and pretend like you never watched this video. We know most of you will anyway. Peace.